Hey,
There he is. You've changed backgrounds again.
Yes.
Another new location.
This time I am not. I'm gonna stay vertical by sitting on a real chair,
I
not
love
my
that for
couch.
you. We are rolling, by the way.
okay.
So, Zach, don't allude to all your illegal activities.
God damn it! I
Your
always love
organized
using
crime
this first
racket.
time to. Yeah.
Tragic.
Always cathartic.
I feel like this is the angle I would see you at in person too, because you're that much taller than I am. Because I feel like I'm looking up at you a little bit.
Wait, I'm not even joking. I was running, and you know how like your brain just like hop, skips, and jumps like from one subject to another. I don't remember how I got there, but suddenly I was like, how tall is Brooks? It just popped into my head by some methodology, and I don't know what it is, but I realized I don't know.
I'm
do.
5'4".
5'4", okay.
Yeah. It's funny too, right? Because I feel like that's always the case, especially with the pandemic. So many people, like, you only would meet them virtually for a long time,
Yeah.
like doing meetings and stuff, and then you actually see them in person, and you're like, this is not what I had in mind for the rest of your body.
No, but actually though.
Well, you two will get to experience that in person if we ever get around to planning our, like, ultimate 90s sleepover.
Oh, I'm still hyped for that.
Hell yes, dudes. Zach, this is Jordan.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
He's graciously agreed to join our wonderful little mess that we do every week.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
So, unless
Jordan
anyone has
lots
any
of strong opinions.
opening thoughts about literally anything at all, we can just go into the first question.
I have nothing in my brain, so
Beautiful. Same. Pretty much me most of the time. Okay, so the first thing I have, hotly contested in my house, are the edges / corners actually the superior part of the brownie?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
no way.
Interesting.
Even split!
Look at this. All right.
Also an even split along the demographics. What does it
Well,
mean?
Surely it's nothing important
It
about
also
that.
depends on how you want to on how you want to divide the demographics. I mean,
Well, the
right,
two
there's
people
like
in their
us,
the
but
two
then-
people no longer in their 20s.
Yeah, two people in 20s versus 30s. But then you could say, okay, we're mixing and matching, because maybe Jordan and I would agree, and then maybe you and Brooks wouldn't. And that's all the other demographics I can think of.
Yeah, okay, that'll work.
We're gonna have to do a larger survey and probably map it out, do a full study for demographic differences.
Hell yeah.
But
Let's do some science.
I think it's pretty straightforward though that the crust just break all the rules of being appropriately soft and chewy like the rest of the brownie, and that's just no good. And it's pretty simple.
Is there that
Center
much of a
stuff?
difference between the crust, between the edges in the middle and the brownies that y'all are making?
Oh yeah. Maybe I just make them bad, but the edges tend to singe up a bit, and it's just, or maybe I'm too sensitive. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like brownies are supposed to be like gooey. Like that's their whole thing, is that they're supposed to be like moist and mushy. And so when you get the edges, they're a little bit drier. That's what gives them the crispiness. And so they're not fitting into the gooiness that you're supposed to get from a brownie.
I view it as more condensed.
Yeah.
That the edges are more condensed, and because it is more condensed, there's just more good stuff packed in there.
More nutritious, perhaps.
Yes. Yeah.
All the positive benefits.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I
I, don't know.
w-
I mean, like, I'm not mad at a middle piece. Like, if someone's handing me a brownie, I am happy about it, regardless of where in the pan it was located. But there's just something about the edges that I can't quite describe, that I don't know. It just hits different for me.
Importantly, too, if you're doing brownies that have like chocolate chips in them, you tend to get fewer of them on the edges.
Brooks, I have a question, because a few episodes ago you were pro corner pizza.
No, that was Bridget.
Yeah.
Oh, Bridget, a few episodes
Oh,
ago.
and
Wait,
like-
then we're on the same side. Wait, I could have sworn you liked pizza, like the pizza crusts on the corner of the square pizza, because I know you were pro square pizza.
I do.
Yes, but I am
who am I
anti
mixing
all edges and corners regardless of the food.
Okay, then never mind. I'm
Interesting.
mixing up people.
Like,
What if it's
wonder-
a stuffed crust
Body of
pizza?
it. What about it?
Are you anti edges of food if it is a stuffed crust pizza?
Well, no, because then it's more of like a cheese stick at that point, like a cheesy breadstick.
But the edge of a brownie is like a biscotti.
Yeah.
But I don't want a biscotti, I want a brownie.
Okay, well,
Yeah, but
life
now
is
you
full
have
of little
both of them.
concessions.
You could have just a biscotti or a brownie biscotti.
He has a point.
A
I'd
biscotti.
rather have a biscotti.
Do you think that like Alabama and Louisiana and Texas would be more pro crust because they're on the border and basically like the crust of the country? I was
I don't think
thinking
they think
this.
about it that deeply, but maybe subconsciously.
Maybe.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's what I mean. Like,
Did you just call them crusty? Like,
not my words.
pretty sure. You said they're on the crust.
What was the phrase? I'm probably mixing people up again. But I think it was Bridget who called like crusty granola couples or something. Was that
Oh,
you?
crunchy.
Crunchy granola. Yes, that makes way more sense than crusty.
So with your like land edge theory, does that include fault lines, or is that is
Ooh.
that actually like
Ooh.
just the above sea level stuff?
That's a good question.
Because technically, then, well, no, because it doesn't. California doesn't border anything, but it is the end of the country, so it is technically the crust of the United States, in one way, and it is also on a fault line.
Does that make it like a sandwich on its own? It's just surrounded by crust, or which I don't even remember what edges the crust the fault line's even on.
California, the sandwich of America.
Beautiful.
You know, it's super appropriate that around all the edges we have beaches, which are roughly the same color as a pizza crust.
Oh my
So
god!
it's kind
Yeah.
of like,
Wait, that's so meta. Oh my god.
Did they design pizza to represent the world?
Maybe.
Reality really does impersonate nature.
I'm imagining a pizza shaped as the United States with the crust just.
Oh, that has to have been made for some
Yeah.
kind of like world record
Oh,
book
yeah.
or whatever.
In
It'd
a
be
blue
really
box.
hard to get good definition unless you have cut it up late, after it's been baked.
Yeah. I feel like it would have to be like either massive pizza, which like, cool, or less definite in a lot of less defined in a lot of places.
If it was like thin crust pizza, you could probably do it. It's just easier to cut through.
Yeah.
Dough's thinner.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was a thin crust pizza and it was like pretty big, I wonder if you'd like keep the ratios the same and like even if it's a thin crust, it's still like 20 feet deep.
How would you do Alaska?
Would you have to
Their
bake it at the
breadsticks.
same time, or
I don't know.
do it separate? Well, maybe
They're
if we bake each one in order that they were like established, the states like within history, then maybe we'd have enough time to like map
Wait,
it out
yes.
properly and not do it all at once.
We have to start with Delaware, and then
Yeah, we'll do a historical reenactment.
Yeah.
I love it. Boom, project. Someone do that. Maybe us. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm anti-edges on all foods. Like, my family knows this, so if I'm visiting my parents and my mom makes lasagna, she'll make sure she cuts me a piece from the middle instead of the edges, because you get
That's real
on
love.
the edges.
Okay, but here's my red hot take on edges on food. Generally don't mind, generally kind of ambivalent. I enjoy the corner piece of a square pizza, not gonna lie. I enjoy the corner piece and edge of a brownie. But being anti-food edge, here's my thing. That's some of the best parts of the cheesecake. All the like
Points are being made.
Hmm?
Points are being made.
Thank you, I try. And also like
Yeah.
any
Have that.
like a regular cake, the most frosting is on the outside edge.
And that's where you get all the layers melted into one piece. It's like the melting pot of the cake.
Yeah.
Some people don't like the frosting as much, though.
Okay,
I like it,
well.
but
If you don't like frosting, why are you eating cake?
well, lighter frosting. It's about the ratios.
I mean, okay, yeah, like the grocery store frosting, like the shitty grocery store like frosting, disgusting, not a fan. But like the chocolate frosting
but-
that my mom makes,
Yeah.
the
when you
most
make
of
your own
that is
frosting,
on the
that's
outside edge of the cake, and that is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, these are food items that have different rules to them. Because, like, with cheesecake, first of all, there is no real difference between the edges and the middle. They are different items, but like the quality doesn't change in the item, if that makes sense.
That does.
Versus like, you know, a lasagna, which is all one thing, where it's the same ingredients throughout, but they're qualitatively different at the edges.
I would say in some
Yeah, that's so much
cheesecakes
to
they are
ask for
qualitatively different.
consistency.
Because sometimes I've seen them have the graham cracker crust like go all the way up the sides,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is delicious.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But it's like essentially a built-in dish. Like it's a built-in
Yeah.
like. Yeah, I can't think of a better way to say it.
No, I know what you
like,
mean.
Or like with cake, that's a little bit different too, because again, the cake is the same throughout. It doesn't really change much at the edges, and especially when you put all that icing on there, you're adding something to it afterward, which makes it different too.
So then what is your thought on just like a regular pie?
I hate the crust on pie.
I love the crust on pie.
I love the crust on pie.
I actually sometimes don't eat the crust.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
I don't eat
God.
a lot of pie.
I'll eat it.
Pie is probably my least favorite dessert because I find the crust to be so bland and dry.
That's
I
probably why I
mean,
love
yes,
it.
compared to yes, because the whole point of a pie is like the filling, and by the
Yeah,
time you get
that
to
is the
crust,
main
there is no filling. So
attraction.
that is but that's not the case with a brownie, where it's all the same like flavor. It's just in a different texture.
That's it. That's what it is. I love the like really like, you know, soft gooey texture of the middle of a brownie, but I also just I'm something about the texture of the edge of a brownie hits so different for me. And I
Yeah, it
just
is
love
different,
it.
and it can be really good. And like it's like something I guess someone could mess it up and someone could do it bad, but it could also be done really well. And maybe even just the contrast of the flavors and the taste is really awesome in the case of a brownie. But it depends. I think another thing probably to consider too is whether or not it's a finger food and whether or not the crust ends up being important. Like there's the functional aspect and then the flavor aspect.
Yeah, on a pizza like pizza, the crust is structurally important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like the centerpiece as a pizza for that very reason because I don't know, it just feels weirder to hold. If it's like not as sturdy, it's just kind of flopping around and just
Yeah.
Oh, I love the centerpieces. Hate it when I get end pieces.
What do you hold? Do you just like palm it?
The pizza?
Do you wait?
Yeah.
Are you
I don't know how
telling
to
me
answer
that you get the centerpiece and you hold it flat in your hand?
No, I was mimicking what I do, but like I'm gonna use this calculator. This is my piece of pizza. I
Yeah.
hold it like this.
Okay, cool. For a second, we were about to have a whole nother debate.
if you ever end up
So you-
folding that pizza,
If Brooks held pizza, would it be like this or this?
That's such a good mental image. It's just like flat on my hand.
Flat. That feels illegal.
It does.
Something about that feels just inherently very wrong.
I should have said I eat it with a fork and knife.
Okay,
Wait, do
Donnie.
you actually?
that sounds okay.
Wait, do
I
you
do-
guys remember when Donald Trump was showing Sarah Palin around New York and they went to Sbarro and he ate his pizza with a fork and knife? Like the most
fancy.
un-New York thing you could ever do.
I didn't even know that happened, and now I can never go to a state of not knowing that that happened.
He also eats his pizza crust first.
Ooh.
Okay.
That was the
Special
original
kind of person.
promotion.
Okay, stuffed crust I can understand. Oh my god. The guy, my ex-boyfriend, he would, like, whenever we would have pizza, first piece he would eat it normally, but the second piece he would, like, take a bite from, like, you know, the point at the beginning, but then he would, like, take a bite of the crust, and then just swap back and forth. Only
And
with
then
the
halfway
second piece,
through-
though. Never with the first piece.
But then halfway through the second piece, you have a centerpiece.
Okay, technically, yes. But, like, what was... I never understood. Why? And, like, why only after the first piece? And, like, he was one of those insane people that would, like, eat an entire pizza by himself just because he had that ridiculous kind of metabolism. But never the first one.
And he never
Did you ever
explained that?
No. He was like, this is just how you do it. I'm like...
I would just not
Says
give
who?
me closure.
Like, this will haunt me.
That's kind
That
of fun
ties
though,
my
because I
brain
feel
into it. Go ahead.
I feel like everybody has food quirks, right?
Mm.
Weird
Yeah,
ways you
I
eat
guess.
things.
Completely right, and I'm trying to think of mine right now. Continue.
No, that was the basic point. Like, I think everybody has these kind of like odd little things that we don't think about just because we've always eaten things that way. Whereas somebody else sees you do it, they're like, "What is wrong with you?"
See, if I were him, I would be eating the second piece like that, but it would more just be like to watch the reactions of everybody around me. Like, that would be why I would be eating it. I would want to be getting reactions out of people.
If I
Valid.
were to be doing it that way,
Curiosity.
I would be doing it just because I wanted to constantly change the texture and flavor profile constantly and never keep anything the same, but only for the second one for that specific experience and then go back to my default for everything else.
Okay, yeah, that seems fair. But yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, the law of diminishing returns. That first piece is always going to be good on its own because you're hungry and you haven't had pizza yet. But by the second piece, it's like, well, I've already had pizza. This is just more pizza, so you got to mix it up.
That like
Yeah, on
tip
the
of the pizza, like that triangle, that part goes so hard when you first
Oh
eat
my
it.
god, the point,
Very first bite of the
Yeah.
first piece.
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Which again is why, like, I feel like it doesn't hit the same with the square pizza. Not to, like, bring things back to the previous episode, but you don't get
Yeah.
the point with a square pizza. Just putting that out
Uh,
there.
You get 4 points.
It's not, I don't know, it's just not the same. Something
Well, if you
about the
cut it out-
triangle.
if you cut it out like the United States or any continent, then you know you have all sorts of corners to work with.
Also
Dude,
point
can you imagine
taken.
eating Florida?
Yeah.
The whole thing's a
What?
point. Can you imagine eating
Yeah.
Florida? The whole pizza's a
That was
point.
my first thought. Yeah, I was like, Florida's just sticking out there.
Chomp.
And then like Nebraska is the square pizza.
Yeah.
Something that is like a literal square.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's a
I don't
square
know.
centerpiece.
I don't know
It's
what
amazing.
state this is, but it's one of the like kind of like flyover states that's like, you know, an actual like one of the states is actually a square. All of the voting districts, it's just a grid.
That's gotta be Nebraska.
Like, it's the most cursed thing I've ever seen in my life. If I can find the tweet where I learned this information, I will link it in the description for this episode. But oh my god, it is like, it's so weird.
Amazing.
It sounds so clean though. So
It sounds
Yeah.
so clean, but also like
And
a lot of the point.
ungerrymandered.
Not gerrymandered, but also like, how are you not dividing up like interest groups? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how are you not dividing up like, you know, like a community, like, you know, community that might want to have like be like one congressional district or something, you know?
Well, what if the communities just happen to build up that way just because of the terrain and how
Oh,
you
yeah,
can develop
maybe.
stuff?
Depending on
It's
which
so
flyover
smart.
state. What was that?
I was just saying it's so sparsely populated too. There aren't as many people.
I was gonna say, yeah, depending on which flyover state, and the whole state might just be its own congressional district. Because there are a lot of states out in the Midwest that are like that.
Interesting.
You have one representative.
Hmm.
The Dakotas, Wyoming.
Clearly, this shows how much I think about, for example, Wyoming.
That is
You
a
should
state.
think about it more.
It is a state. It simply doesn't cross my mind very often. Maybe it should.
I always forget Idaho's a thing.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
there was like
Not
that
quite as
movement.
often, but mostly
like,
just because
Oregon.
I enjoy a good potato in many forms.
That's the only thing anybody knows about Idaho, except for people who live in Idaho, I guess.
Idaho isn't real.
Yeah, I think it's a myth.
Yeah.
Idaho, Iowa, Montana.
I mean,
Kansas.
Ohio's on pretty thin ice.
And I'm pretty sure that only the places I've been to actually exist. And they don't
Yes.
exist until I go to them.
Yeah, nothing exists
Yes.
until I am perceiving it directly.
Exactly.
You have a problem with object permanence?
No. But
Will
if I'm,
Wyoming still be there after I leave?
yeah, like I can know that the concept of Wyoming is still a thing, but like when I leave, is it still there? Who knows?
Yeah, maybe in a game it just unloads,
Yeah.
de-streams, whatever. It's gone.
So in a way, it's almost like Schrodinger's cat
Yeah.
because you're not observing it, so you don't actually know whether it's still there or not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And frankly, if the world is a simulation, I think that would save a lot of bandwidth.
Just
There you
load
go.
what you need to.
Yeah. That's just called efficiency.
That's how I'd write it.
I dig.
When you get a certain distance away from a state, it's only like three triangles. That's the whole state.
Early 2000s video games, How I Love You. We do stan. Anyway, do we have anything else to say about brownies, pizza, food that involves edges, weird things we do with certain foods?
I wish I knew what weird thing I did with food.
I know, like, I
I'm
know
gonna
I
have to think
have to
about
have
that.
one, but it simply is not coming to
I
me.
have so many.
Yeah, you have
Well,
your edge,
okay.
your, like, anti-edge thing.
Like, for example, if I'm eating like a burger or a sandwich or something, I eat around the outside first because the middle part's the best, so I save it for last.
What?
If I eat like the Swiss cake rolls, I unroll them.
Wait,
to
wait,
eat them.
wait a second. You don't just get to blow past that.
But I
You need to
have
unpack
more.
this.
So you're just, like,
I have so many eating perks.
ro-
Well, actually, like you know what I'm talking about, right? Like the little Debbie cakes that are the Swiss rolls.
yeah, but
Like
we're
they have
Yeah,
I'm
no,
talking
we're-
that's not
Oh.
even that weird. We're talking about the sandwich thing now.
That's odd. I thought the other thing was weirder.
I agree
No.
with you. The other one's weirder.
See,
Because the middle
there's a
part
diff-
is the
but a burger is not a sandwich where you can nibble off the crust because that makes sense. Like that, but like
but I eat around it because the middle is always going to be the best part because that's the part that is most likely to have like the sauce, you know, and a good piece of like lettuce and tomato and whatever versus the edges where if they haven't placed it perfectly or they haven't spread it to the edges, you might take a bite and not get all of the flavor and all the parts of the burger. Whereas if you eat around those questionable, sketchy parts first, then you know what you're finishing off with is the best part that has all of the ingredients within it.
I'm gonna
You
make your
know-
burgers with nothing in the center, and all the stuff's gonna be on the outside in like a donut shape.
You know, when I went to St. Petersburg, my friend ordered a burger in a restaurant, and they gave him a pair of latex gloves to eat it with. And I thought nothing weirder. Like, there was nothing weirder that one could do with a burger. I stand corrected.
I don't think it's that weird.
I don't think it's weird.
Like, I talk to a lot of people who say that when they eat stuff, they're trying to save the best parts for last. Like, I've heard that from a lot of people.
yeah, and again, that makes sense with a sandwich. But like a burger.
The burger. Because, like, there have been so many times where I've been disappointed, like, just eating it straight across like you're supposed to, and then the last bite has, like, no condiment at all.
I
it's
wouldn't
just dry
trust the structural
unpleasant.
integrity of the center, like... I feel like it would fall apart easier.
Mm-mm. Actually, it holds together nicely because of the condiments. Like, it kind of serves as a bit of a glue. Oh, I guess it depends on the condiment, but
Well, if it's glue, it'll work really well.
really hold tight. Surprised you haven't noticed these eating patterns. You always, well, maybe I'm cautious around you because you make fun of me for things like eating mushrooms out of a can.
That's so
Oh, that
weird.
that I am on board with. I know we've talked about that before. I am like eating mushrooms right out of the can hits so hard. I'm always down for that.
You're both so strange.
You're all strange for liking mushrooms. You guys are, jeez.
I don't have an issue with the taste. The texture sometimes. Ew.
Yeah, that's the texture's my main problem with it.
And also, I
even
make
have
fun of you because you make fun of me.
What do I make fun of you for?
It's
Food-wise.
definitely happened.
Hmm.
I don't know, stupid
Maybe
young people things.
Oh, like eating dry ramen blocks?
It's good.
That's my thing. If I have a weird thing, that's what it is.
I love eating
That
dry
is
ramen.
weird.
It's delicious.
That is
It is, 'cause it has no
genuinely
flavor.
weird. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
Don't say it's
sometimes I
not.
just want a
It's like-
bland carb.
It's like,
Yeah.
what if you ate carby ice?
Sounds like it'd be
Crunch.
cold.
Same reason I don't really care for like iceberg lettuce. Crunch, but not really flavor.
But that's
Yeah,
why it's
but
good
like,
on a
you
burger.
need something
That's
for the
cold
crunch.
stuff.
The crunch.
Yeah, like, but that's why it's there. It adds crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that is its
It's a-
purpose.
texture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's why you
ramen
should-
blocks, they're good. They're
Oh, you make
the
fun
ramen
of me
blocks
for
are nice and
every,
salty.
just about every single fictional crush I have ever confessed to you.
I'll make fun of you. I might make a face, but I
The
can't
face,
control
the
my
face implies. The face implies being made fun of. Anyway. Would we like to move on?
Yeah,
Sure.
okay.
Okay, so the next question is from... Let me load this. Twitter user at Katie Delaney. How long will you guys leave out a glass of water in your house and still drink it? It's not like it goes bad, but after a while it's weird, right?
If it's not cold anymore, I've got no interest.
Saying it doesn't go bad isn't quite accurate because bacteria do multiply.
I mean, yeah.
So here's the thing that's like weird for me. If I like didn't finish this water and left it on the table in the morning, I would not drink it.
Oh, I would.
But if it was in like a water bottle, then I would drink it. I don't know why. Maybe that's my weird thing. But I will drink water in a water bottle that has been opened and closed prior.
Yeah, water bottles will last me a while. Like if there's a water bottle sitting out for maybe even a week, honestly, I'd still
Yeah.
probably drink out of that.
Yeah,
But
okay.
an open glass, I would probably dump that if it was sitting out for 4 or 5 hours.
I think we're on the same page there.
Oh, am I just gross? If I
For
like...
me, a water glass, the rule is a day.
Yeah, that seems fair. Like, if I, like, was at my desk in the evening and I had a glass of water and then I, like, went to bed and it was still there in the morning and I was like, you know, I'm thirsty. I would finish that glass of water. That's fine.
Yeah. My basic rule is like each day I get out a fresh glass and I use that to drink water throughout the day, and then I take a glass of water to bed with me every night, just in case. And so when I get up in the morning, I will finish off that water before I get my new glass for the next day. So I'll always drink the glass from the previous day before I put it in the sink and grab a new glass.
So I would say it's weird after 24 hours.
Well, in the water bottle thing, I have to have a fresh water. I mostly drink out of water bottles all the time. And I have to have a clean one every day because that's what they say you're supposed to do because bacteria grows in them.
Okay, well, I don't
Yeah.
You're
have that
supposed to
kind of
wash them
time.
every 24 hours.
I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
That's
Who
why
has time?
I have 4 of these now, and I just because it's my smart bottle and I can just unscrew the bottom and put it in a clean bottle.
Again, am I gross? Maybe.
I may be gross too, but I'm not dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm doing okay.
Maybe I'm just strengthening my immune system.
To be fair, there's lots of things they're always saying, like, you gotta be careful about that, you know, it can make you sick or whatever. And, no, most of the
Yeah.
time it doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah, and
Like,
there
you
are
know.
times I'll be
Don't-
concerned, and then I'll wash something. Just if anything seems off about it at all, if it tastes a little weird, if it smells a little weird, I will wash it.
Oh, yeah.
Although I'm losing my sense of smell these days, so might not be able to rely on that one.
No, you know, there's plenty of things that people say not to do that I do all the time. Eating cookie dough.
Love it.
If that's how I go, then that's just how I go.
Oh man, quick random aside. I went to Crumble Cookies today.
Do
They
tell.
opened one a few months ago. And they're so big. And they're perfect because they got like just like a little bit of crispiness. and then they're real gooey. And I got 4 of them, and I hate myself.
I have a question. When you have a cookie, do you eat like around the edge?
Yes.
Bridget just looks.
Okay.
Except,
No
well, I'm not
comment.
doing it so well on these ones. They're falling apart a little bit, so it's kind of hard to do that because they're just so gooey and big and heavy. They're so good, and they give them to you warm.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's dangerous. It's like, for something a cookie. They're pretty substantial, but it's bad. And they have different ones every week.
You know,
I
sometimes
feel like I'm doing an
Yeah.
advertisement.
you gotta treat yourself.
You know what I miss about upstate New York? I'm sure they do this other places, but like when you would go to the apple orchards and then you would get like cider donuts
Cider
and you would watch
donuts.
them make it in front of you
Oh my god,
and
yes.
you get it and it was like hot and you could smell it and like feel the heat through the little paper that they handed to you on.
God, yes.
And then you get your warm cider and it's just everything is like apples.
Beautiful. Incredible. Show
There
stopping.
is nothing like a fresh donut right out of the glaze.
Mm-hmm.
It just like melts
Good
in your
stuff.
mouth. I still like dream about a donut I had, it would have been 2013. So 9 years ago now. Still think about that donut.
Yeah, does anyone else have like a random like meal that they like random thing or like meal, in your case donut, that they will literally never stop thinking about?
Maybe not meal, but like restaurant that has meals that I don't stop thinking about. I don't know.
I will never stop thinking about this beef stroganoff that I had in Moscow in the summer of 2019. I don't know where. I just know that it was in a park in Moscow. God, it was good.
And it's extra special because you can't really recreate it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a very good chance I will never find that restaurant again.
The donut that I had was either in North or South Carolina. I can't remember which one because we were driving along the coast at the time. So it was one of the Carolinas that I had that. So I could never find it again.
But you know what? On the other hand, we've narrowed it down from 50 states to 2.
He has a point.
Well, because we were staying in North Carolina, but we were driving to South Carolina down to Myrtle Beach for something, and so I can't remember where we were.
Gotcha.
I had some killer crab cakes in Myrtle Beach when I was a kid. Those are good.
That's like one of the only times I will eat shellfish. I do enjoy a crab cake.
I mean, literally rest in peace, because now I can't ever have it again, even if I knew where it was. But
yeah.
I do still think about that sometimes.
Yeah. It just makes it more special.
I think one meal I think about, I was driving from Maine. I was driving from Maine to Washington, and I stopped at like my favorite restaurant on the planet in Cambridge. And I got this like breakfast wrap with potatoes and a chocolate shake, and I got that for the road, and oh my God, I was literally so happy.
Nice. Very
Like, we
nice.
played special. Shout out to Veggie Galaxy. Like, they are the real ones.
We love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Completely unrelated. Everyone in this call, you need to go see Nightmare Alley.
Okay.
It's so good. It was so good. I saw it last night. Excellent movie. Also saw Bradley Cooper's dick. Would have given it 5 stars even without that.
I'll get around to it. I'm part of the movie club, and my tickets just keep piling up because I'm not going, so I really need to.
That's tragic. But yeah, no. Nightmare Alley was so good. Guillermo del Toro really just does not miss.
Cool.
You good?
I just saw the first reply underneath the tweet.
What's the first reply?
Did you see it?
The
tweet that we're discussing.
The one that we were discussing now?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hold on. I can't see it because I don't have Twitter open on my phone. Give me a second.
Yes, that is part of it. I forgot that was a thing, but like, yeah, I know Echo will 100% drink out of glasses.
Oh, yeah. See, that's not really a problem in my house because my dog's too big to be like getting up onto tables and stuff.
We might be seeing a different tweet. Because I don't see anything about dogs.
It's about cats, is
Interesting.
it not?
No. That's not what I'm seeing.
Oh, hold
Interesting.
on. Hold on.
The one I'm seeing, at oops, I tweeted again. I drank out of stainless steel water bottles for just this reason, and also because I leaned over one night to get a sip of water and a live spider was in it and went into my mouth.
We're definitely seeing different tweets.
Hold
Mine is just a
on.
really cute tweet of like a cat drinking water out of a glass.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one that
right?
I saw.
Weird. I don't see that at all.
Oh, and then there's this one with the cat like fully in the glass.
I love
You don't
when
wanna
cats
drink
do that. They're so funny.
We on different Twitters? Okay, I refreshed and I see that as the second one under there. A cat drinking out of a glass.
Interesting.
Somebody wrote fecal matter, mold, bugs. Just get a new glass. And then Katie Delaney was like, "What's going on in your house?"
Yeah. You good? You live like this?
Oh my god! Somebody said if I'm thirsty enough, I'll just clench my teeth in the middle of the night to strain out the fruit fly.
That's genius.
No! Oh my god!
You just have to brush your teeth, but it works, right?
What?
But then they're stuck to your teeth,
Oh my
so they're in your mouth.
That's not real. That's not real. There's no way that can be real.
I
Like,
want it to
these
be real. I
comments
want
are
someone
Hold
to
on, I
have done
found the
that.
tweet. Now I want to look at the replies.
Somebody tweeted it. Somebody tweeted, I started calling it bedroom water because the dead ass start tasting like the bedroom. Yeah, you can drink that, but it's bedroom water, just for information. Someone replied, love how you included how to use it.
I like the person who replied to one of them. I do wonder how many drinks I've had in life where some animals had a passing slurp.
Oh, Brooks,
Why'd
I
they
found the
say it like
spider
that?
one.
Do you see the cockroach one under it?
No, I see a dog one under it.
The what?
But
So-
the spider one,
um,
first of all, why is the water yellow? It has like a green rim. Like this. Bleh.
Why is
This
someone
person
drinking
wrote,
their
I
water?
live in Concord.
God bless this person who drinks their water out of an Erlenmeyer flask so that their cats can't stick their head into it and drink their water.
They'll find a way eventually. They always do.
This person said they live in cockroach country, and I can't drink out of anything but a water bottle at night because some dumb bug will climb into the glass. Nothing wakes you up quicker than taking a nice big sip of water and feeling a cockroach desperately trying to crawl out of your mouth.
Oh my god, that's disgusting. Quick
Nope.
palate cleanse with this lovely video of a cat dipping his paws into the water and drinking it.
Very,
found a
very
tweet that-
intelligent.
Perfectly
Oh my
summarizes like my mentality with this. Someone like this is literally how I think about it. Because someone said, my mind is convinced that overnight a layer of dust has settled on the surface of the water, so it's no longer potable. However, water in a water bottle that hasn't been washed in 3 months, well, that's as clean as it gets, baby. And honestly, I kind of relate to that.
Yeah. That is a call out, and I will admit to it.
Because maybe I'm gross, but like one time I was driving back from a run and like reached in the back of my car to find something, and I found a water bottle with water in it, and it was really cold, so like, and
It's
it
fine.
hit
It's
pretty hard.
fine.
It's yeah,
Nothing could survive in that cold.
exactly.
That's frequently what I tell myself with a lot of things. Prior to COVID, I was a big proponent of there's no germs if you're sharing alcohol.
That's
Right.
very true.
Germs.
I miss that. I miss those days when you would go out with friends or you'd like hang out and you'd all make a different cocktail and everyone would be like, "Here, have a sip."
You're gonna love it.
I'm a real, take Take a sip, have a bite. I'm a sharing person. I don't like how conscious of germs COVID has made me.
But yeah,
Mine
it
has
was
a
nice that
2-hour limit.
you didn't have to consolidate your whole drinking experience just to what you bought, and then have to commit to either downing or wasting whatever you got.
Right?
And you could just try a little bit of everything.
The struggle
Better
is
that
real.
way.
Better
These
that way.
can have
comments are
some
literally so funny.
The what?
Oh, I was just saying that these comments are literally so funny.
I know, these are kind of killing me. And all the wonderful
could have
pictures
some-
of cats.
The person who tweeted about accidentally drinking the spider, I like that somebody wrote, like, that's it, I'm off water.
Oh,
Yeah, you
someone's
should only be
hairless.
drinking spider repellent.
Aw, people's hairless cats sticking their faces into water glasses. Their little raw chicken-looking heads.
Oh my god, one of the comments is from, Akila Hughes, who's with Crooked Media. She hosts What a Day.
Oh,
And when you
cool.
scroll down far enough, like, she commented on this.
Love that.
I can't do overnight. This climate is dusty. That's the thing, though. It is.
Yeah, I am fascinated by everyone else's, like, limits.
It depends if it's half full or half empty.
At this point, it's really not a podcast recording unless Nyx appears in my lap at some point.
That's very true.
Worth it though.
Maybe to you, it's so hard to like pay attention. She's very aggressive about wanting to be pet.
Aw,
Oh.
sweet baby. Well, speaking of cats, for our next question, and here, let me open this up so I can drag it in. The visual aid for everyone is in the host chat. So this question, how would a cat smoke a joint? If that were a thing that we were doing. Hold on. I want to let me show.
Like this.
Oh man, this is the wrong cat. If it were Luna in my lap, I could use her as a visual aid. Nyx will not have that.
Like,
Does Nyx not like sedatives?
Well, I mean, like, I was thinking about holding her up, like, demonstrating with her paws,
aww.
but the second you try to pick her up, she just, like, goes ballistic, wiggling around like crazy.
Boo boo.
Like, no matter what it is.
But yeah,
Even though you're picking her up,
do we
throwing
do?
her in my room.
We have a little two-paw situation going on, or I'm a huge fan of the visual of the awkward like bat, like, you know, when they're like taking a back.
Yeah, can you replicate that?
They do the back leg thing. No, I wish. I am not flexible whatsoever. It's really sad. So yeah.
So the options are held between the two front paws or between the toes of one back paw.
Yeah. What do we think?
Oh man, that's tough.
I think the front paws.
That does seem
Cats
the
do
most.
things between their toes.
That does seem the
Yeah, they
most
don't have to-
logical.
They don't have to flex as much if they have their hands like this with their joint just kind of like in between, right?
Yeah.
And they can just
Yeah.
kind of lay down and just hold it there. With their leg like way out here, they'll have to like pull it in all the time. That's too much
I
energy.
mean, when you think about how dogs hold things, like whenever they hold something down with their front paws, like they're doing the same thing.
You have a point. I thought this was gonna spark more debate.
I don't know.
Are we all,
Spark, but
are we all pretty pro front paw?
I would say so. That makes the most sense to me. Even though I do love the visual in that drawing of the cat daintily holding the joint in between his toes.
The cat just looks so happy too.
I
Like,
know.
That's what I'm enjoying the most. That looks like such a happy cat.
He looks like he's having a
Both
great time.
pictures.
Loving life. Like, I don't care how I hold this joint. I'm just happy to be here.
I wish
Happy
I
to
was
be
that.
alive.
I wish I was that cat.
I'm gonna be a cartoon
Wonder-
cat.
Don't we
I wonder if
all?
cats would have the dexterity to be able to hold it in their tail, and, like wrap it around. But I guess
They
their
don't
tails
have-
probably aren't long enough
I'm gonna say in real life, no. In a cartoon, yes.
Yeah. It doesn't quite curl enough to get a grip on
Yeah.
it, but also they just don't have that much control over their tails.
Not
They
yet.
have some control, but not much.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna say 2 front paws. I thought this was gonna spark more debate, but that's okay.
Well, the
Okay.
first reply I see under it says, neither, you hold it in your mouth like a true alpha.
I'm loving that people are like responding to this as if they like have like a definite answer. He goes, my cat holds his joint. Twitter user at Mewlissa. My cat holds his joint with his tail. Hope this helps.
I'm writing this down immediately.
Yeah, I'm loving the authority with which people are answering.
Well, that's the only way you can answer anything on Twitter. Has to be with authority.
Yeah, honestly, I've heard that if you have like a clipboard and you look official, you can get in anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have yet to try it out.
That
But
confident.
Oh no, it's 100% true. But like, it's also all in how you carry yourself, right? Like you need to walk as if like people are in your way.
yeah.
Yeah, and like you know where you're going, and you have a
Mhm.
goal.
Yep.
Pretty much. High vis
Help
helps
to occasionally
sometimes.
consult the clipboard. I've heard that with a ladder too. Like if you put on like a reflective vest and carry a ladder, you can get into almost
Yeah,
anywhere.
no one's gonna say anything.
Yeah,
They won't even notice you're there.
yeah.
I have a reflective vest because of work.
You're on your way.
I
And
am
we
on
have
my way.
ladders at my work.
So where do you want to go? You can
The
go anywhere.
world is your oyster.
That's exciting.
Just
That's very exciting. Maybe I'll have to try that someday. I don't know where.
I feel like the vest clipboard combo would be really good for that.
Yeah.
ooh, like ladder and clipboard.
No, that's too
Well, no,
many
if you have the
things.
vest on and a clipboard, it's like the clipboard's saying I got stuff
Yeah.
to do, and the vest is saying it's like, grunt, blue collar grunt work. Don't worry about
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, and the clipboard will be more flexible for you than a ladder because you can get into places a little easier. And if you have to run away, you don't have to ditch the ladder.
On the other
Yeah.
hand, if somebody's chasing you, you can throw the ladder behind you and slow them down.
That's true.
That is
That's
also
true.
a very
Pretty
solid point.
strong. How big is this ladder that you're chucking?
Depends on how strong you are.
Honestly,
Mhm.
like
Size of the
the
ladder.
like fiberglass ladders at work, even I can lift those, and my lifting capabilities are very sad.
But lifting and throwing are two different things.
I have to assume if I'm about to be chased, the adrenaline is going to help me throw it if I can lift it to begin with.
If you're being chased like down an alleyway, you wouldn't even have to throw. You could just set it up.
Yep, and just climb right up wherever you gotta get to. Kick the ladder
Oh,
down.
I was just thinking to just like set it up, and then they need to take it down in order to keep
Oh,
going after you.
yeah, that's even better.
But that is true. I mean, nobody says you can't use the ladder to actually like get away. Just climb over something.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to climb over something and not onto something where you'll strain yourself, I guess, now that I think
Yeah.
about it.
Reasons I
Like
wish
the
I
horror
lived in a
movie, but-
cartoon. I could just Tom and Jerry my way out of all my problems. That'd be nice.
That's what it had me
Tom and
thinking
Jerry.
about Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote conversation before on my mind. Last week? I think it was last week.
Yeah, like just drawing, train tracks on caves or something like that.
I'm pretty sure
Or
like
caves on train tracks.
that actually like
Yeah.
happened. Like someone like tried to turn into a mural.
Hmm.
I'm almost certain I've seen that headline, and if I find it, I will put it in the description because I'm pretty much certain that has happened.
I bet you're right.
Yeah, sometimes like just the amount of human history that has occurred. I feel like most things have to have happened at some point.
Yep. I agree with that.
I'm wondering if they could actually just use one front paw because they could get their claws into it and probably get a good grip on it that way.
Ooh, but would that like cause a problem for the actual like experience of smoking the joint.
In
Right,
what
like
way?
if you smoked it enough, would you like bring the heat to where your paw basically is? Like you'd have to like detach
Yeah.
it.
And also,
I
like,
mean,
would you
it
not get
would
as good
be,
of a pull on it if there was a little puncture in like?
but it would be filled with a claw though,
This is true.
plugged.
This
Yeah,
is very true.
because cats are pretty good at. I don't know if you remember, Bridget. I think I sent you this TikTok where people have this cat that sits up high and they just chuck things at the cat to see how many things they'll catch.
Yeah.
And like literally everything they throw to the cat catches,
Yeah.
including a potted houseplant.
Good stuff.
And that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it wouldn't cause any more problem than just holding it with two paws, because either way, you're gonna be getting it down to your paw, you know.
How like webbed are cats' feet? Because Piper has
Not
kind of
really.
like webbed paws. Like she
I've
couldn't like
never.
put something between her two toes. Could a cat theoretically
Could.
do that?
Yeah,
I think so.
because they go like this all the time. You
Oh
can see
yeah,
between their toes.
the
They
mean
have so much
beans.
space between those, usually. Um, which actually makes me wonder why it wouldn't do that with its front paw, the way it's holding it in between its toes.
Yeah.
Because it could do that. I mean, doing both paws like this and holding it is still really cute. So
Oh
I
yeah,
can't-
that's adorable. Like that's my favorite option so far, just because it's so cute. But yeah, no. My dog has like web feet, which is
Oh.
so weird because she doesn't like water, but like I'm like you have water dog features. Why you no
One
swim?
of my one of my brothers had that. One of his pairs of toes were webbed for whatever reason, like
Whack.
2/3 of the way up. Only person in our family to have that.
That.
Interesting.
He was an okay swimmer, not exceptional.
Interesting.
I mean, I think they could hold it between their toes like that. Cats generally don't like things between their toes, though, so I don't think they would
Not.
actually do it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
possible, but they probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say two front
really
paws
think-
final answer just because I like the visual and that seems the most logical.
And they do grab things like that, so.
They do.
Although less like the picture and more like this would be how they would hold it, because that's how
Although
they grab
one
things.
time, some of the like feral cats that lived outside of our college apartment, this guy, like one of the like various like landlords around the like surrounding campus area, would leave like little like chicken scraps out for them. And one time there was like this polydactyl cat, like a cat that had thumbs, and we watched it like kind of use its thumb to like pick up a little piece of chicken and boop. It was so freaking cute. Kitty.
You don't even necessarily need thumbs to be able to be like dexterous, though.
I mean, you
Too,
don't.
like-
We just really love that cat, and we called her Grasper.
I was just thinking about the last podcast and the last live stream on Monday, where Marcus lit a match with his feet. It was incredible.
Okay.
Like held the match with one foot and picked up the whole box of matches with the other foot and struck the match against the side of the box with his feet
Okay.
and lit it.
Okay.
It was incredible. Never seen anything like it.
Well, that makes me think of like people that like don't have hands or arms or anything that just start doing stuff with their feet and they can just do everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have an option.
You
Yeah,
learn pretty
yeah.
quick.
Yeah, you adapt to what you got. So cats, they could probably, you know, needs be, they'll find a way to hold a joint.
I dig it.
Agreed.
I'm assuming this joint would be catnip, though.
Right, right.
Yeah, they already have weed. We just sprinkle it everywhere instead of having them smoke it.
Okay, I mean, I'm sure there's, like, an actual, like, logical answer for this. Like, they saw, like, you know, cats going to this plant in the wild, but it's just so weird to me that we figured out that this plant, it's like, yeah, it's cat weed. We just give it to the cats, and it gets them high.
But that's not even the only kind though. Like mint does the same thing.
Yeah.
Menthol, cats lose their mind over menthol.
Yeah, why are there so many different types of cat weed?
Probably because they're gods and rulers over us, and they just decided to make the world with stuff that makes them happy.
Yeah, okay. I buy that.
Everybody knows that.
They seem to have life, honestly, they seem to have it all figured out. I'm sure that the average cat is much happier than I am.
I second that. Cat's got it made. For the most part.
Right? God, I wish I was a cat. I
Provided
also wish
you
I
have
was a
good
dog.
home.
I wish I was my dog. That'd be great. She's very spoiled. I love her very much.
But then you would be a lot upstairs or on the furniture.
That's very true.
Yeah, if you were
Yes,
your
you would.
dog, who would you be?
I don't know.
Who would take your place?
Piper would
Or would
take
there
over
be two
your
of you?
body.
Piper's only not
Could
allowed
you
on the...
imagine Piper as a human?
She'd be an idiot. Because she already is.
Aw.
I don't get her. She's like so dumb, but she's also like trained herself in so many ways. Like we started walking her off the leash like a year or two ago because she's old and she's not gonna run away. And now whenever we say car, she like slows down and walks closer to us. We did not teach her that. I'm like, how are you this smart? But then she like wiggles her way under the coffee table. And if you call her name too suddenly, she'll try to get up and thunk. I'm like, how is this the same dog? I wish I knew. And also, she's only not allowed on the furniture and not allowed upstairs when my parents are home.
Man, it's a good thing they don't watch this or listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I know. Now maybe it's good that my parents don't, or that my parents don't like pay attention to the projects I put out into the world. Although it's funny, my sister and I have started while we're like watching Jeopardy or whatever with our parents, my sister and I have started being like, Piper, come on up on the couch, and my mom's like, what the hell are you girls doing? Or I'll like lean in and like audibly whisper so that my mom can hear. I'll be like, I'll sneak you upstairs tonight. She's like, the hell you won't. I'm like, you wouldn't know. You're already in bed. You wouldn't know.
If Piper had an accent, what kind of accent would it be?
Probably like a Valley Girl accent. Like an Elle Woods type deal. She's pretty ditzy.
But Woods is like super smart.
I feel like that's a good way of describing Piper's intelligence. Like, kind of airheaded, but like smart.
Smart when she needs to be.
Smart
maybe.
when she needs to be. That's a very good way of putting it. I dig it. Alright, well. We have been rolling for an hour, which is great, and we have gotten through all of our questions. Anyone have anything they would like to share? I ask this question every week, and the answer is usually no.
Why is it so hard for people to come up with things to share?
I don't
I
know.
don't understand. It's like,
What's the definition of insanity?
I know, it's doing something over and over again and expecting different results, but we keep making this podcast every week and expecting more than 3 people to watch it, so we're all insane. It's not just me.
yeah, I don't know. That's really getting to me though. I can't understand why it's so difficult. Maybe it's like the immediacy of it or something, like the instant challenge, and then because there's so many things we probably could share or think about, but when you kind of get like a choice paralysis type of thing, where it's like I could talk about every single thing ever. Which one do I start with? I don't know.
Yeah, point taken.
I have a mystery that I would like to bring to the people because I've been thinking about this for days.
Beautiful. Hit me with it.
So we had a pretty big snow Sunday night. I think we ended up with like a foot-ish here. I feel like
Nice.
that seems right. But, it happened from like Sunday night and into Monday, and it was about 3 in the morning. I got woken up by yelling outside. And so I got up and I looked out the window and there is a car that has clearly been trying to leave, but it's trying to drive through like a foot of snow. And there was a woman and a man out there arguing with one another, trying to shovel out the path in front of the car. She was yelling at him because she didn't want his help for whatever reason, and so he left. And then she continued to shovel a path in front of her car. And I don't know how far she intended to shovel, but I watched her for a good 10-15 minutes thinking she's got to stop eventually. And she just kept shoveling the entire like width of the car. And it's 3 a.m. I don't know where she's trying to go. It's so important at 3 a.m. I don't know why she was yelling at that guy not wanting his help, but she probably, by the time I gave up and went to sleep, she had probably shoveled a good 20 feet in front of her car. Was she planning to shovel all the way to wherever she was going? I couldn't stay up to find out. Like, I couldn't watch forever. But I thought maybe I'll wake up in the morning and see the path, see how far she shoveled, but they'd already plowed. And it's been bothering me. I have so many questions. I actually thought about putting on my coat and going out there and being like, what's going on? Why is this happening?
I wish you had. And just
It's
based on the determination with which you have just, like, the determination that you've described in this woman, I feel as though she really was planning on shoveling, at least until, like a plowed street, and then continuing to her destination.
She would have had to do that for a long time, though, because nothing was plowed. It was 3 a.m.
Okay, but the fact that you said you watched for 10 minutes and she had shoveled 20 feet? Like...
Well, Oh, yeah, no, here's the other wild thing.
This is a determined individual.
So part of that 20 feet was that guy helping her, even though she didn't want his help. He actually shoved her at one point because she was in his face, which was pretty wild. But he took off walking in a completely different direction than the one he had come from. And it was very clear because he was leaving footprints in undisturbed snow. And I thought, that's real bizarre. I wonder where he's going with his shovel. And then about 10 minutes later, I saw him coming. He had started further out and started shoveling back toward the car. So he'd gotten around the corner and started shoveling from there back to where she was.
That is a whole different dimension to add to this mystery.
I am actually going to be thinking about this for days.
Yeah, I actually, I have a picture on my phone. I did take a picture of it at one point.
Oh my god, put that in the group chat right now.
So it's like, I don't know what time the plows usually get there. It's hard to tell what happened to her. Did she actually shovel out all the way until she got to something that was plowed, or did she shovel until the plow showed up, or did she give up or something? And then also why she was trying to get out in the first place, which I would imagine she had like an early job or something, like some like weird early shift. But
possibly. I think they plowed at 4:30 because I remember being woken up and thinking this is too early for this people. So it was like, maybe an hour and a half after I was watching them do this.
Wow, I wish I understood.
I have 2 pictures here. I don't know which one's better. I'll just put them both in there.
Hell yes.
The general channel?
Yeah, that'll work. I will put these in the public Google Drive for people. The world
figure out what they would have been
this.
arguing about.
I know.
Like, did he want help? And she's like, no, I don't want help.
Yeah, I mean, because it was hard to hear anything because I'm up, on the second floor and they're out in the parking lot. But so I could only hear like a little bit here and there, and I definitely heard, I don't want your help. Okay.
These are the things I am looking for whenever I say if anyone has anything else to share. Just the weird things you remember from your life.
Yeah. That's why I figured this was important to bring up.
This is incredibly important.
I want to know what they were arguing about.
Yes.
Where she was going at 3 a.m.
Yes.
I want to know why she was shoveling. I don't know if the car got stuck because she was clearly driving for a while before that because she wasn't in a parking spot at the time. I want to know how far she planned to shovel and how far she ended up shoveling. And then what happened after that. I have so many questions.
This is going to
Also,
haunt me.
why did she
Thank
start
you.
shoveling from the office?
This is gonna end up getting drudged up as evidence in a cold case. It's gonna happen.
The pictures are in the general chat.
Yes, amazing. Oh my god.
Oh, what?
Bruh. You're right, she had to have been, like, she's not in a parking spot.
Yeah. So I don't know if she got stuck.
I would assume.
In the second picture in particular, you see the path, the footprints coming out. That's where the guy walked out. You can actually see the path that he walked in the snow, the footprints.
I want to understand. I want to know.
I mean, and it was still like snowing and super windy out there. It looked like a blizzard.
I can see it snowing in these pictures.
Yeah.
I have a guess. I have a guess about something here. I think the guy walked off after she didn't want him to help, but he just decided, I'm gonna help, but from the other side so she can't tell me no.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I dig it.
I saw her stop.
Until you said that he was shoveling from, like, the other end, I thought, I'm gonna act like I'm walking off for real, but instead I'll just, like, go back to where we started around the back way, so, you know, so that I'd, like, you know, I get the look of being like, fine, be left to your own devices. But that's a better guess.
She stopped more than once, and each time I was like, okay, she's done now, right? Because you have shoveled way further than you would need to if you're just trying to get space to get some momentum. And she would like pull out her phone and like look at it and put it away, and then start shoveling again. I'm like, are you serious? How? Right? Because I understand shoveling a little bit of distance to be able to give your wheels a chance to grab and get you some momentum, but that far.
This is going to be brought up in a cold case.
Yeah,
like, I cannot think of what would be going on.
I think so. Maybe she just kept getting stuck, and that's why she decided she was going to shovel super far. Because I mean, that is kind of deep snow to go through for so long. And if her tires aren't amazing, maybe they just would have kept slipping up.
Yeah, it could be like my car. I think it was the last episode of the episode before that where I was telling the story about how I like slid through a red light, or not a red light, a stop sign. Mm-hmm. That wasn't fun.
Yeah, I remember talking about that.
Winter in upstate New York. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I got a similar cold case potential that might end up happening, I guess.
Yes, let me hear it.
So the reason I thought of this was because I live kind of close by to Dr. Brookes here, and the snow was really bad, and there were people trying to get out of the parking lot. Even though it was mostly shoveled out, they were still getting stuck just trying to even back out of their spots. So I went out and helped them shovel because I had a shovel in my car, and I had to go to a job interview, actually. And I had left early enough that I had time to shovel this guy out. And I finally got him to get out, but we noticed that there was a lot of, like, yellow fluid on the snow. And I was like, hey, man, you might want to, like, be extra careful while driving and, like, think about taking a look at this fluid leak you got, because I don't know what it is, because I don't know too much about cars. And I looked it up later, though, and just based on the yellow color that it like, could have potentially been brake fluid, and I have no idea what happened to this dude, and I don't think I saw his car back in the evening when I got back. So I don't know whatever happened to that guy. All I know is I got him out of the spot, but he had to, like, back out really hard to get over the snowbank that was underneath that it kind of tore against. And I was trying to tell him, well, if you pull up, I can, like, I can try to get this out from behind you. He's like, nah, just try to, like, free the tires up. I'm like, all right. So maybe that guy's doing okay. I hope he's doing okay, but no idea what happened to him.
Oh my god.
And then it would pan out and say executive producer Dick Wolf.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
But yeah, like,
about
that's
cars.
snow.
I meant to learn about cars and then I forgot.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But yeah, that snow was, like, I don't know, maybe like half a foot maybe 3/4 even, and it was still tough for people to drive out of those spots.
Mhm. I feel like our apartment complex has gotten interesting lately. I don't know what it is, but it seems like there's been a lot of things going on. Like I had to call 911 a few weeks back
That's
when I
not
saw
fun.
that. Yeah,
I
that
was
guy
gonna say
dragging
that's
an
kind of
unconscious
fun,
woman.
but I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Why did you have to call?
um, because the building that's in between ours, I saw a guy dragging an unconscious woman out of that building
Oop.
in the middle of the night. It was like 3 in the morning. I can't remember now, 3 or 4
I
in the
didn't.
morning.
I didn't think anybody saw me.
But
Ah.
But
he did have long hair, but he had it in a man bun, and
Mm.
he was taller, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't you.
Hey,
Let me
do you
let me
want me to
sketch this
kill
out.
that guy for you?
because I'll totally kill that guy for you. Okay, see you at improv
And improv
practice.
practice.
Bring
But
it up.
that's like
Bring it all
that's why
back.
when I heard those people arguing the other night, I was like, oh God, don't tell me there's another like major thing going on.
That's
It
scary.
was so
Terrifying.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
oh yeah, because she woke up when he got her into the car and started screaming like she was being murdered, and he was like pushing her back in the car, and they were fighting each other, and
My God.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
it was pretty intense.
So the police, did they do you know kind of like what they did or how that turned out or?
Yeah, they sent 4 cruisers.
It's never good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
not ideal.
and they had to buzz random people to get let into that building, and then they had to go door to door until they found them
Oh shit.
because they went back inside actually. Um, and they eventually came back out and said, we found them. They lived there together, and they were just having a bit of a spat.
Do they both
But
still live?
I haven't seen her. I've seen him a few times since then. Um, so I don't know if I just haven't seen her or what. But
Yikes.
Who among us hasn't dragged an unconscious person out of anger?
also, like, if they lived there, where was he dragging her in the middle of the night? Like, my
Yeah.
first assumption was like, oh, maybe she's drunk and he's trying to get her home or something, like trying to find a reason for it.
Damn,
But if
that's
she
super
lived
weird.
there, then where was he taking her unconscious in the middle of the night?
Maybe he was trying to get her to a hospital and he was really worried about her, and that's the definition of spat that the police were working with.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I could think of is like maybe she had some mental health issues, for example, or something like that, and he was very
Yeah.
concerned about her,
Sure.
like her drinking or something like that.
I'm gonna say like theoretically, like there are so many things
So-
where if someone caught you in the middle of like this weird like personal crisis or whatever, where it would look super sketchy, but also like again to the outside observer, holy shit, that's so sketchy.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean there could have been a good reason for it, but I figured it's better to not take chances, especially when she
Oh,
woke
yeah,
up and started
absolutely.
screaming.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because in that moment, I had no idea if they even knew each other. Like,
Yeah.
and actually, at first, I was like, I thought she was dead. I was like, I am seeing somebody disposing of a dead body right now. That was my first thought.
Oh my
I listened
god.
too much to it. Well, it's very jarring to see somebody pull an unconscious, like, dead weight body.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Can't say that's something
It
I've ever
doesn't-
seen.
Yeah, it doesn't look the same as it does in, like, the movies and stuff. It's very unsettling.
Yeah, that movies always make it look like people are like really light, and you can just kind of
Yeah.
just plop them over your shoulder, good to go, easy to drag them. People are fucking heavy.
Yeah. It took him forever to lift her up into that car. It took him a lot of tries. Me sitting there looking out my window, like,
Binoculars.
Come on, please.
Oh my
Now, see,
god.
what would be terrifying is if suddenly he just stopped and looked right at you.
That's a horror movie.
Yeah, that is an actual horror movie plot.
Also, saving that in my little bank of potential film shots.
Yeah.
After I called 911, my instinct was to go out there and try to intervene to make sure he couldn't take her. But I figured I might make it worse.
Yeah, I mean, and also, in a movie, that is how you get murked.
Yeah.
That's how you
Just,
get
Yeah, but
hey,
assuming,
everything okay here? Blah.
but not knowing anything else about the situation, like what if he was somebody who was trying to abduct her? Once he got her into the car, we'd probably never catch him, and then she's done for.
Yeah, that feels
Yeah.
like such a hard call to make, whether you want to get involved or not, whether you want to be on the side of caution that something could be going on that's bad, but you also like don't want to interfere with something that's not a problem, and it's tough to figure out how to handle that depending on the situation. I have no idea how I would handle that situation until I was in it.
Oh yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what was actually an interesting thing because, I've never had to call 911 in my life before.
I
That was a
did.
totally new thing for me.
I was going up an exit that like curves around, so you like go the other way, and there was a truck in front, like an 18-wheeler in front of me, and the guy was fine. Putting that out there right now. But I saw the one wheel like kind of lift up off the ground because I guess like whatever was like in this big like trailer thing like kind of shifted or whatever, and I just remember thinking, ooh, that's not good, and then whoop, over on its
Oh,
side.
God.
The guy was the guy was completely fine, and he like cut the engine and everything. It didn't explode or whatever, but I was just like, ah.
That's good. Those trucks catch on fire all the time.
All the while, Bo Burnham's "All Eyes on Me" was playing on my car radio.
Oh, so this was recent.
Oh, this is very recent. This was over the summer.
Oh, you didn't mention it.
I did.
Well, she was saving it for now.
I don't think so.
Oh. It was the week I was dog sitting. I might have just talked about the dog a lot.
You did send me a lot of dog pictures.
Yeah, so maybe I was just busy sending you dog pictures. I love
That's
that
why I
dog.
figured it wasn't.
I love that dog so much. Spuds, my sweet boy. I dog sit for a dog whose name is Spuds. I love him
Oh,
so
like
much.
Spuds McKenzie.
I guess.
It's the old Budweiser mascot. Is he, what kind of terrier is that? I'm blanking. Is he, a terrier of some sort?
He's some kind of just like shelter.
Like a bull? I think it's a bull terrier.
No. He's just some kind of shelter mutt. I love him so much. Not a single thought in that head. He doesn't know any commands unless there's a treat right in front of his face. He doesn't even know his name.
Spuds McKenzie was a Budweiser mascot
Doggy.
back in the, I think, early 90s.
I'll take your word for it. I wouldn't know.
Classic. Classic. I think that was before they had Budman. Superhero.
I don't even know what that is.
Somehow I don't remember that. I remember Spuds, but I don't remember the other one.
Yeah, they kind of got in trouble for that because it was like too appealing to children.
Ah,
I'll do it.
I can see that being a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they had a bunch of reform of advertising in the 90s, like Camel cigarettes, for example. They had this whole program where when you buy
you brought this
cigarettes,
up in class one time.
yeah. So when you would buy packs of Camel cigarettes, you would get like little points on it, and you could collect points. And then there would be a big catalog that you could order things from, like branded Camel merchandise with your points. And so kids would actually like want to smoke and start smoking and smoke more to be able to collect more points and get free stuff.
Bruh.
So stuff
Brilliant.
like that. Yeah. Oh no, it absolutely was, because like when I remember as a kid, I did not smoke. I was a child. But I remember looking through those catalogs and being like, oh, this stuff is so cool, I want it.
Oh, can I get this?
Yikes.
Yeah,
I just
because
have
the
to
only way
smoke?
you can get it. Yeah, you can't buy it. The only way you can get it is by getting the cigarettes. So yeah, they had a lot of questionable campaigns back in the day.
It's just a wonder to me that anyone is like that humanity has made it this far. Like people have survived this far.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I hear a news story about like my mom or dad's childhood, they're like, yeah, there were no bike helmets, there were no like car seats, there's no this, no that. I'm like, how are any of you alive?
Well, everybody that lived is alive now. And
Well,
the ones
yeah,
that
you
didn't,
know.
You know.
Survival of the fittest.
I mean,
But yeah, it's like people have a way of figuring those things out, even without a lot of safety stuff. Enough to make it to here anyway.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking
gotta-
about when I ask for concluding thoughts. Things that send us down a whole nother path. It's beautiful.
Just be like, you ever seen someone murdered?
Yeah.
That's always
We
a
did
great
more
question
by-
to open with.
Yeah.
We
No,
never wore
I
bike
haven't.
helmets as kids, and I got a concussion once.
What'd you do?
I did it in your room. I was riding my bike, and it was rainy, and when the brakes kind of slipped in the rain, and I fell and got a concussion.
Cute.
Because this was also back in a time where, like, basically once you were like 8, your parents were like, yeah, go do whatever you feel like. And so I was just riding around town by myself on my bike.
Oh yeah, no, my dad has had similar stories. Like, his mom would, like, send all the kids out and be like, okay, be home by dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what?
When the street lights come on, that was always the rule.
A life
We were
without
the- we were the
constant
same way.
surveillance does sound kind of nice.
Well, at least as far as we knew. But yeah,
We
it was
actually
like,
did a babysitter time.
yeah. Yeah,
But you would be
we never had like our parents checking in on us really too often. It was like the same deal. It was like, go out and then just show up by the time you can't see anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's so wild.
And I remember not wearing helmets. Well, my parents were making me wear helmets when they were like teaching me to ride a bike and stuff, but then like a bunch of times I just, wouldn't. But half the time I kind of did.
I never wore a helmet after I just was like going out for my own bike rides. Was it dumb? Probably, but
Yeah. But you get so comfortable.
yeah, exactly.
I have
And it's not
literally
like-
never had.
You never had a what?
I have never had a bike helmet on my head. Not a single time ever.
Why?
It wasn't a thing. Nobody wore them when I was a kid, and I don't have a bike anymore, so.
I've never not had a bike helmet.
If other people had helmets, would you have gotten a helmet?
Maybe. But, like, again, literally nobody. I didn't know anybody who ever had one.
None of my friends ever wore bike helmets.
Yeah, some of mine did. Not everyone though. It was such a mix.
Yeah, no, we definitely wore
It's
helmets
interesting.
in my neighborhood.
It's just funny because we're all, like, slightly different ages, though. So we have, like, different experiences.
Mhm.
Because, Jordan, you're 30?
Yep, I'm 30.
Right? So like me at 36, and then 30, and then
God,
then it starts
25. We literally like
Agree.
Yeah. So we're all like slightly different ages.
Yeah, but also, like, I
So,
went to,
like-
like, a really, like, my neighborhood's pretty small, and I went to, like, a really small, like, K through 8 school where they had this whole big, like, every, like, week out of the year it would be, like, oh, the big, like, bike, like, encouraging kids to, like, bike to school or whatever, and then, like, like, actually, like, teaching kids, like, bike safety. So there was a big emphasis on helmet wearing.
You see, I think that's a generational difference. Because, like, that just wasn't a thing. And that's why, like, Jordan's saying for him it was a mix because he's in between our ages.
Whack.
Oh my God, wait, the most
Almost
upstate
exactly
New York
that
thing
far.
ever.
Do tell.
The police in Scotia would give kids gift cards for Stewart's ice cream when they saw them wearing bike helmets.
That is so upstate New York. I love it.
Right?
Oh, that's so smart.
We stand.
It's like when they made us free books by giving us free pizza.
Yeah.
Right?
That was
book program?
that was the only time in my life I looked forward to getting pulled over. Saw a cop behind me and I'm like, oh fuck yeah. Get some ice cream.
I did something right today.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I
no,
loved that book it program. It's like, joke's on you. I love free
Yeah.
pizza and I love to read.
That was good stuff. They did a similar
God.
thing at my local library. It was like, you get XYZ things for how many books you read over the summer or whatever. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I love reading and I love free stuff, baby.
Win-win.
It's good stuff.
How did they check
I'll
to
remember
make sure you
box
read them?
tops.
You have to have your
yeah.
parents, like, sign a slip or whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember box tops.
where you had to like fund your school through cereal.
Yeah, and they still have
Because-
them, and
Yeah, that's messed up.
they switched them to be like scanning instead of cutting them out or whatever.
It's like, hey, do you want art?
Yeah.
The answer is in these Lucky Charms.
It's like did you see that video that was making the rounds a few weeks ago of I think it was a high school basketball game where they threw a bunch of money out and teachers had to like scramble and
Oh
grab
my
it.
that
god,
was
it was a hockey game.
disgusting.
That was
Yeah,
real bad.
that was
I've seen
really
that.
bad. That was horrible.
That was-
I do know
Ooh.
that. Literally just
But it's the
totally
same kind of,
demonizing.
Same kind of feel to it, you know?
Yeah.
No, gross.
This is how we view education.
Yeah, like,
It hits different when you make it so literal.
Mhm.
yeah.
How did nobody? Because there had to be many people in the planning of this.
Yeah,
These
so many
teachers
people had to
agreed
try
it.
and organize this. Like, what?
There were multiple people in on this, and nobody said, "Hey, this might not be a good idea."
It's pretty dehumanizing.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, like, I wonder if there was just one person who really wanted to do it and nobody could like change the plans from there, and like a bunch of people rejected, but they're just like, nah, do it anyway. Or like a
the
bunch
one
of
like
people were like, this
PTA
is great.
soccer mom who thinks this is a genius idea and like won't hear anything from anyone else.
Yeah, like whoever the boss is
Mhm.
just like, we got to do this. Or
I
was
could
it
see
like
that
a group
happening.
of people that were like, yeah, this is all great, or nobody asked at all.
Yeah.
They just didn't think about it. I
Yeah,
have
that
no
was a
idea.
real uh-oh, we said the quiet part out loud.
Painful.
Yikes.
I think this might be the first time I said a thing to the any like concluding thoughts or whatever.
So maybe it's
thing.
not insanity
Good
after
job.
all. This is all I look for. Nothing profound, just random stories about women shoveling at night under potentially
that one-
suspicious circumstances.
I wonder how much odd stuff you could just find like that, just roaming around at like 2 or 3 in the morning, just in any given area. You could find some weird stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a lot.
Just in this parking lot alone, there's always weird stuff going on. Cause like, I have a really bad habit of falling asleep on the couch. And so I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and then I often can't go right back to sleep, and I'll just kind of like, futz around. I'm really old. Futz around and do a few things. I just became 80 years old for a second there.
Love that for you.
Like just a few minutes ago when I said it's stuck in my craw. But
I didn't even hear that.
Because when I was saying that I brought it up, I was like, "Well, it just really stuck in my craw."
I do say grinds my gears. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, but I kind of like do a few things around, put away the clean dishes, just random stuff, and I'll be up for a while. So if there are noises out there, I will hear them, and that was how I saw that woman being dragged. Because they weren't making any noise at that moment. I was leaning down to unplug my tablet, from the power strip by the couch. And as I was standing up, I happened to glance out the window and was like, frozen.
Oh my, like, again, that's a,
You know,
like,
so you-
that's, like, looking up and being like, that's a body.
Mhm.
Bruh.
That was my immediate thought. It's the middle of the night. She's dead. He is disposing of her body. Yeah, it was but yeah, you can see all kinds of fun things if you just look outside in the middle of the night. There's always
Question
people that
for you
argue
then.
out there.
I'm wondering now then, if you just saw a body out in your parking lot, no one's dragging it or anything, what would you do? Just a body just laying out in the middle of the frozen parking lot.
I would,
My first step would be to run out there and check on them, see if they're alive or.
I would say, no, I would
See-
call someone, because what if that's what if it's a trap?
Yeah, it's just to get a concerned person to come out there.
Yeah, and then they snatch you.
No.
I just know
That was a lure in
The
an
first
episode
thing-
of Hannibal, and I will never forget it.
the first thing I thought of is that one episode of Psych where like that couple who robs people like fakes a motorcycle accident and they lay there and wait for people to stop and then hold them at gunpoint and take their car.
Yeah, no, I would immediately call 911. But I'm not
Yep.
running out there by myself in the middle of the night. No way.
But if they're laying there like freezing to death, and it takes time for an ambulance to get there or something,
Right.
especially in this weather, that would be my first thought. Like in situations like that where they're like, faking an accident, they're usually doing that in secluded areas, not in a parking lot that has multiple buildings with dozens of apartments facing it.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, if
what
I'm
if
like
they
living
just
in an
wanna,
apartment
like...
complex, I would assume I at least know, I would assume I know another person. I would bang on the neighbor's door and be like, "Hey, we gotta check this shit out."
That is smart. Get some backup.
Yeah,
Unless they're
I
also
try very
in on
good.
Oh, the whole apartment complex isn't on it except for you.
it.
I
I
wouldn't
always
doubt
knew
that.
everyone was out to get me.
there's a movie in there somewhere.
Shady people. I would
Yeah,
absolutely go out and check on them and
I would get some backup and check on him.
like, because
I'd
maybe
probably...
they're making snow angels.
Yeah, maybe
You
they're
know,
making
Could be.
snow angels and they just kind of forgot to get back up.
And now they
Just like
are
they're
an
looking
angel.
I'd probably call the cops and then get some backup and
Yeah,
combine all of your awesome ideas.
I think that would be my course of action.
No, I would just stupidly run out there.
Fair enough.
Just like I wanted to do when I saw that guy dragging that woman.
I might
What
go
if?
out there, but at least with like a baseball bat or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like going out there with nothing is just asking for.
yeah.
I don't know.
That's how psychological. That's how thrillers and horror movies start.
Yeah.
I've seen too many to make that mistake.
You might be worrying that it's a trap set by people, but what if it's a trap set by aliens?
Oh, then take me.
What if that's
Yeah.
not even a human?
Take
Yeah?
me. It's fine.
You guys are up for that?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Depends on the species of alien.
What's that?
That's true. If it's from like Independence Day, like we don't vibe with those aliens.
Mm.
But
Well, no, like reptilians are pretty terrible. You definitely wouldn't want to be abducted by reptilians.
I still
The
cannot
Nordics-
believe that the United States thought it was a good idea to send a satellite into space, just broadcasting everything about us, where we are, what we do.
Yeah,
Like that is the dumbest thing.
that
I've
does seem like
ever-
asking for trouble.
Like,
You guys thought this region was empty, huh?
yeah,
Psych.
no, literally, because like, look, if we ever find, like, if we ever encounter other life, it's coming to us. We're not discovering it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Like, if I were like the president, my first act would be to like blow up that fucking satellite, like get rid of it, like erase the evidence. We're not here.
We are not here.
Just like you see some aliens, like nobody's home. Like that's not just. Why would you do that? Because you know how kind stronger civilizations have been to weaker civilizations throughout history.
Mm-hmm.
You make.
They're
some
always
solid
like,
points.
yeah,
But what if it's like aliens that have discovered like have created like a true utopian society? Then I feel like they might be down to help. Because
Could
clearly we can't handle this planet by ourselves.
Because like I can't tell if our perspective of what aliens would be like is a life perspective or a human perspective. So I don't know if their perspective would be different or the same as ours.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of the way societies like can control each other based, just based on the power dynamics and stuff, and
yeah.
or whether or not they're trying to set people up for utopia. Like their motivations, I feel like I couldn't even. I don't know how we can imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
we can only
think
base it around our stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was Dawkins who went on like Jon Stewart's show, and he was talking about how there's this theory that like life just pops up throughout the universe, but then like that life evolves and eventually like self-destructs. And if you were to like look at a map of like the galaxy, and just like lights for universes, it would just be like blinking lights as life pops in and out of existence. Like
That's kind of sick.
there's life, it forms, it develops technology, it blows itself up, and then like that just happens everywhere.
But also, the amount of like matter in a system never changes. So like the universe,
Right.
that's sick. Like the universe as a system just keeps like shooting off some sparks, seeing what's up. That's kind of cool.
It
Yeah,
still
see what
blows my
happens.
mind that like that like the universe is expanding, because that means that there's like a theoretical end, and I can't wrap my head around that. Like
But
you can get to
also-
the end of the universe.
The other thing is like it'll expand and then it'll stop, and then it'll start shrinking again, and then it'll, like, become another, and then boom, Big Bang again.
That's the idea, that cycle.
Cool stuff. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder...
In my
Go ahead.
I can hear the song from Meaning of Life that Eric Idle sings
Beautiful. Yes. Wonderful.
about the universe. Fits perfectly here. That's why I'm doing this. I'm singing it in my head.
I love that for you. I haven't seen that one in a long time. I think I've only seen that one once.
Yeah.
You should watch it next time.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's allowed at the Ultimate 90s Sleepover because it was made prior to the year 2000.
It's true. A little significantly earlier, but...
Yeah, Alright, well. This is what I'm talking about when I ask for concluding thoughts. We love to see
it always comes down to crime and aliens.
Beautiful. the only two things that matter, frankly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice. Alright, well, Jordan, thank you for joining us. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, it's been good. It's flown by.
Hell yeah, we love to provide a good time. And as always, friends, thank you for fighting with us. We appreciate each and every single one of you very much, and we will see y'all again next week. Adios.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly, Zach Calderon, and Dr. Sarah Brookes, featuring special guest Jordan Costello. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Follow us on Twitter at BridgetKelly98, at Zach Calderon, and at AnnSarahSaid. Rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice, like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, and join our Discord community using the links in the description. You can also help support us via the Acast supporter feature, or consider donating to our Patreon. Thanks for listening!